resume.
In her first 6 years at Georgia Tech, just a remarkable turnaround for this program, and a coach that has done so much on the court, off the court. When she was with ESPN as a broadcaster, she's so talented.
And for Georgia Tech, it is a rare appearance here. They did play in Maples in the NCAA tournament 3 years ago, not against Stanford. As Mary Ashley Stevenson rebounds for Stanford. Stanford won against Miami here Thursday night. Georgia Tech lost about 45 miles away in Berkeley to Cal. And there's a pass deflected by Zoe Smith on the first turnover. And it's turned right back as Bosgana intercepts for Stanford. Oh, terrific pass, but unable to finish the play.
So in the early going, we're already seeing a turnover by Stanford. Georgia Tech unable to convert, but that's what they want to do. Disrupt the Cardinal offensively and see if they can get some easy buckets.
You hit on that kind of glaring thing for Stanford this year, those turnovers, and there's 2 in the first minute.
Yeah, it's been a real issue for them.
Tonie Morgan muscled her way in. Ijiwoye pulls it down nicely for Stanford.
She provides such great energy for Stanford.
Stevenson had posted up inside. And with the left-hand finish is Mary Ashley Stevenson.
Player that's been starting with the absence of Nunu Aguera. Boy, she has just continued to step things up.
Right, Dunn sets up the open shot for Blackshear.
She is just, that's the money ball for her. That mid-range, they do a nice job of just kicking to her.
Can I just tell you how refreshing it is to see a mid-range shot? I love it.
It's kind of out of vogue, would you say? It's layup or 3.
Tough inside bounce pass there, but Stevenson saves it. Ijiwoye has to make something happen. Hits Courtney, who got to the basket.
Yeah, these two have really begun sort of the yo-yo effect. Just work well together, read and react.
Chick chat right. Yes, that's how they introduce her. That's how she likes to be referenced. Dunn muscles in. That's cleared by Stevenson.
Nice job taking away transition, getting back quickly and getting set up.
Cross for the open 3, and that is one of the Stanford seniors. 3 today playing their final game. Elena Bosgana from Greece.
Bosgana, one of those players, Ted, that when she starts hot, it tends to go for a while. When she makes early shots, it is a good omen for Stanford.
Stanford, in a tradition that KP is continuing, will honor their seniors after the game.
It just takes the emotion out of it, so you're not coming right out of that ceremony. And you can see the great pass from Stevenson over. And earlier during the anthem, they played the national anthem of Greece.
Isn't that wonderful?
Her parents will not be here to honor her. That she was here for. They were here for a week earlier this season.
Yeah, they were just here. Bosgana from Greece is the first European player to ever come to Stanford in basketball. There's a left-hand finish that just misses by Shea Ijiwoye. And look at the acceleration by Chick Chat Wright. A good steal of the offensive board to give Dunn the shot. Third chance for Georgia Tech. And eventually a foul called.
Well, Mel Fortner has to be happy with the shot selection. Her team's done a great job of getting into the paint, getting opportunities. They just haven't come away with the kind of production that they want. Well, one of the goals for Stanford is not allow this Georgia Tech team to turn the corner and get into the paint. Because this is what happens. You start getting fouls piling up on you. It's a very physical, it's not a big Georgia Tech team, but it's a physical team that can put the ball on the floor, can really create problems.
Georgia Tech 4.5 plus 4.5 in the rebound margin this year. Zoe Smith was honored nicely. Stanford gave Zoe Smith and Kayla Blackshear just little bouquets. Kate Pay did when the lineups were introduced, honoring those seniors for their final regular season game. And Georgia Tech, of course, heading to Greensboro. Either the 8 or 9 seed and pretty certain of getting an NCAA bid. That's the what's up in the air for Stanford. Ooh, with a backdoor try. Pass intercepted and then overthrown. So again, the teams exchange turnovers.
Yeah, it's been a flurry of turnovers both ways.
3 each way. We said Georgia Tech expecting to be in the field when it's announced in 2 weeks. This is an unusual period. It's just very blunt for Stanford. They have not experienced this in almost 40 years, to not know the second day of March if they're going to be in the NCAA tournament.
And to not know and know you will not be home for the first and second round. 2-2-1, full court pressure by Georgia Tech. And Nell Fortner just searching for some answers for a team that started 15-0 and that just kind of lost their magic.
Nice inbounds play to get up Chloe Clardy with a clean shot. Georgia Tech, by the way, is not going to have Danny Carnegie, the freshman that we talked about earlier. She's not going to play today, nor is Inez Naredo. Both suffered injuries Thursday night in Berkeley.
Lower body injuries. Danny Carnegie, the second leading scorer for this team, was missed 3 games earlier this year.
Travel call there, undone.
And her loss is significant. I mean, she has come off the bench every game this year, but to be the second leading scorer at 13 a game, then the energy she provides, the 3-point shooting she provides, you look at the numbers, rebounding. It's a huge loss for this team, but certainly you want her to be as healthy as she could be for the tournament.
Stanford broke that little pressure and set up a Bosgana 3. Oh, nice give on the trail, but Morgan's miss is followed in by Zoe Smith.
Georgia Tech racking up the offensive rebounds.
Three of them already for Georgia Tech. Bosgana feeds Stevenson. Nice little screen and roll. Bosgana to Stevenson.
Yeah, the communication between the players on this Stanford team has improved so dramatically the second half of the ACC season. They just get done going.
All right, Dunn lets it fly. Right into the hands of Mary Ashley Stevenson, and again, quick up the floor. Stanford trying to go fast. They've been doing this in the first quarter, and Bosgana finishes.
And a quick timeout by Nell Fortner and Georgia Tech. Stanford talked to us before the game and said, look, we need to get off to a great start, and they certainly have done that despite the turnovers. In transition, here we go, a little pick and roll, and Stevenson finishes at the rim. And then let's go transition. Give it up, get it to your guard, and let's go. Off to the races.
And the social media disinformation of such.
Yeah, I mean, she really is at the forefront of disinformation and just does a great job. You mentioned Molly Goodenbauer. Her team will be 5th in the WCC tournament. That's their seed. And what a job by Sharman Smith at Cal. They will be the 7th seed in the ACC tournament coming up this week. You know, one of those surprise teams this year in the ACC. I don't think anyone really knew what to expect from Cal. And Sharman and her squad of Golden Bears have done an outstanding job this year.
And as Tonie Morgan will go to the line for Georgia Tech, you get an idea, speaking with Kate Pay about it this weekend, that, you know, look, college basketball is no different. College sports are different, which we'll get to shortly. For this week's CW Sports Saturday returns, CW Courtside Saturday season finale, ACC doubleheader with NC State, Miami, and then Georgia Tech, Wake Forest. It's all followed by the NASCAR Xfinity Series in Phoenix. Starts at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific on the CW.
Some trapping out of Georgia Tech. Just trying to bring some energy.
Taskiel in the game for Stanford. Out of the timeout, Stevenson dumps it down low. And Courtney Ogden extends the Stanford lead.
Now Ogden score inside outside. Nice job saving that by Dunn.
So you see K-Pay going to the bench already. We'll see how much Nell Fortner can, missing 2 people.
Yeah, it's really tough. They're down 20 points, almost 8 rebounds, 6 assists with the folks that aren't playing today. And Stevenson will get that foul tagged on her.
First personal, number 22, Ashley Stevenson. Third team foul.
The step back, and Stevenson
Whoops.
tries to get up and get a piece of that, and instead
Not much.
fouls the shooter. Not a whole. We've seen worse, certainly.
Not much. For Dimitri, another senior playing her final game. Tonie Morgan, nice to see her back. She got she had that basketball nightmare the other night in Berkeley. She was crushed by a blindside pick, which is like 3rd grade or 4th grade. Did you just scream when you know your teammate's going to get a hit? Scream!
3rd leading scorer for this team.
Yeah.
Had a triple-double against Clemson back in December.
I'll give it a foul inside. But what we're getting into, Mary, is that when you see like a Mary Ashley Stevenson on the court, Tess Heel on the court for Stanford right now, Stanford slowly embracing where college sports are now. Undergraduate transfers. Transfers at Stanford are extremely hard. It is very difficult to get a grad transfer. And that missed, but there's Bosgana. Nice crash. Set up another try. 3rd try, Dimitri. And is fouled inside.
We were talking about what a great job Georgia Tech was doing on the offensive boards, and Stanford in just this one possession just continues to pound it and get opportunities. Yeah, I think transferring and making yourself available as a school is something that absolutely has to happen. The portal is where it's at.
Well, that's what Stanford is confronting, and look at Cal, nice give and go. Boy, that Stanford has been running pretty clearly to the basket in this first quarter.
Yeah, the bigs have done a great job of just getting involved and making some really good reads.
We're saying Cal has done so well this year. 5th and 6th year seniors, 4 of them total in their starting lineup. And that's the reality of recruiting high schools today. Are you going to bring 18 and 19-year-olds to play 24 and 25-year-olds?
Yeah, I think the challenge for most coaches, and I think this is where Charmin has absolutely excelled, is you need to bring people to your campus that work with the culture of your school, of where you're located, you as a coaching staff, and what you believe and how you're going to play the game. And if you get the right mix, it can be a really highly successful formula.
And it is going to change. So that's what, back to where we are here, that's what Stanford is embracing, having to embrace right now, is that the world isn't going to change.
And here's a transfer here from University of Georgia, 4 years at Georgia. So Smith, the leading rebounder this year for Georgia Tech, 8 points a game, 6 rebounds.
Well, Georgia Tech hanging in this first quarter from the foul line. They've only made 2 field goals. Outside little body foul there is called on Tiana Thompson of Georgia Tech.
Where she's been spectacular over the last couple games.
You think she'll play a bigger role today? Has to?
She has to, but the last 2 games she's been a wow. You know, against Florida State, 19 points in 20 minutes. Cal, she plays 16 minutes, 11 points, 5 for 9 from 3 in the last 2 games.
And as soon as I ask you that, she subbed out. Augusta Naita coming into the game for the first time.
Well, we're hearing the whistle blow a lot.
Yes, we are.
And
yes,
I think
we are.
For both teams, you really need to pay attention to that. So they're calling a lot of touch stuff, so you just got to get your hands off. Here's the drive by Clardy. You can see the collision. Hard to displace Clardy. She is strong.
Chit chat right on the foul. So Chloe Carty from Conway, Arkansas. And said especially the month of February has been so big for Stanford because their top scorer, Nuno Aguirre, again, she was hurt in a fall at Notre Dame almost a month ago. She tried to come back for one game, wasn't right, and has not played since.
The fact that Stanford's been able to go on the run that they have and play as well as they have without Nunu is really something else. I don't think anyone really saw that coming. Well run play.
Clean shot there, rebounded by Bosgana, and she is knocked over, so the foul will go. And send Bosgana to the line. Zoe Smith on the foul for Georgia Tech. Foul trouble will be something that, as this game goes along, would not be friends for Nell Fortner.
Indeed.
And here's Elena Bosgana. And again, you saw the highlight just a few moments ago. They surprised her during the introductions before the game by choosing to play the Greek national anthem. It's a little emotional. Her parents made their first ever trip to the United States a couple of weeks ago.
How special did that have to be? There it is.
That's very good. She's going to get walked in their post-game ceremony by teammate Stavi Papadaki, who's also from Greece. She'll walk Bosgana out for the honor. That's a nice step in by Morgan. Tried to finish with the left. Tess Heel back with it for Stanford. And again. Well, Mary, that's just, if you're Georgia Tech, you have the concern Stanford's had too many uncontested baskets.
And just unselfish play by Stanford. Find a great shot, move the basketball.
Right, 3-second difference in the clocks. The first quarter that has been all Stanford.
Sure has. Georgia Tech really struggling to find open looks at this point.
And has to shoot here. Morgan has to put it up. Good strong drive, got her own miss, but the first shot never hit rim. So that is a shot clock violation.
So an energized Stanford team on that sideline. And Nell Fortner still searching for answers, and it is tough. Again, their second leading scorer out with a lower body injury.
That can Ijiwoye get up quick, got it up in time, but misses at the end of the quarter. But Stanford doing a wonderful offensive job. They had 14 points in the paint, and they had 7 assists on 9 baskets.
Let the ball move. Stanford did a great job of taking advantage, and they have built a big lead.
For the stay.
Just a beautiful job of read and react. If your defense denies you high, take them backdoor. Clardy, just a beautiful job moving. And now pass goes into Dimitri. Again, Clardy, run the play, rub your man off, and just be available. 7 assists on 9 made field goals by Stanford, and 5 different Stanford players have had an assist. That is sharing the ball.
And on the flip side, you see Georgia Tech, and we're saying, for example, Tonie Morgan did a wonderful job of getting the ball near the rim, just not finishing, and you see the Georgia Tech shooting numbers.
Yeah, they have had plenty of opportunities in the paint, but points in the paint right now, Stanford 14-2, plus 12.
All right, second quarter beginning. Quick set up there, and a shot by Dimitri.
Well contested by Georgia Tech. They know they cannot allow Brooke Dimitri to heat up. Nice cut.
Let's see if that gets going for Georgia Tech, but Kara Dunn did not score in the first quarter. That's her 4th shot.
It just feels like they need to make a bucket, and maybe this whole thing will turn around a little bit.
Well, there's Dunn defending the back cut. There it is, drive and kick out. Well, how about that? So Tonie Morgan was getting to the rim, and now scores her first points from the outside.
And Wright could have taken that layup. Instead, kicks it out for 3 and cuts the lead to 10 quickly.
Off the back of Ijiwoye. Nice delivery, and there's Kara Dunn's first points.
just like that. The game tips, and now you go some full court pressure. And a couple of baskets, and that whole energy for Georgia Tech just changes. The look away, in rhythm, never have to put it on the floor. Well done in transition.
Boy, how about that nice pass? The look one way, bounce with the other, right in the sweet spot.
Oh, this is a team that loves to get out in transition.
29 seconds on
They
the
do a
shot
beautiful
clock.
job putting the ball on the floor and just attacking. They've got physical guards.
And there you go again. Stanford running the floor as they break press, and Dimitri finishes.
What are the differences with Chloe Clardy out there? She's got length, she's strong, and she can just bust her way through some of that physicality.
Yeah, Dunn with heel of Stanford trying to take a charge, but Dunn just went right through it.
And Morgan with the pass.
Nice again. Boy, that's just been going on. What does Georgia Tech have to do defensively to stop that, Mary?
They just got to get their back into the chest of the Stanford player and not allow that pass to just drop right in there for an easy bucket.
Stanford just scoring repeatedly at the basket. There's a three for Chat Wright.
Well, they've already shaved 6 points off the lead, and they're playing with a whole lot more energy on both ends of the floor.
Bosgana, low post, left-hander going to her strong side.
That's a late whistle.
Yep, and that.
Oh, Fortner, I love the reaction. Like, really, are you kidding me?
Yes, exactly.
Like 1,000, 1,002, and now I'm hearing it.
Well, Fortner feeling, I'm guessing her feeling there is that was a bailout. That Bosgana was going down.
That's Morgan's second foul.
Yeah, so
I mean,
Morgan out. Our had the Termis in the game.
Morgan's going to stay.
Oh, no, she is. Yeah,
That's just tough. I mean, you're giving up points early at the free throw line, and Bosgana had 15 points against Miami on Thursday night. 4 rebounds, a couple of assists.
All right, Stevenson out for Stanford. Ogden is in.
Has evolved into Stanford's super sub.
Bosgana leading right now with 9 points. Clardy has 8 for Stanford. And there's Augustanata.
A great pass again from Morgan. Gets into the paint, little jump pass, and kicks it for 3.
Lithuania, great basketball country, and there's a blow-by drive by Courtney Ogden.
What do you think about the points Stanford has scored below the free throw line?
Yeah. With 20 points of their 31 right at the rim.
We talked as a key about Stanford shooting the 3. That really hasn't been the goal.
And Chat Wright. So Georgia Tech trying to stay connected here using the 3-point shot so far in the second quarter.
They look much more like themselves here in the second quarter than they did in the first.
Well, nope, Dimitri going to get called for travel on the shot fake and spin.
Morgan, the kick out with the left hand coming off that drive. It is just a sensational pass, and just the vision to see through all that traffic and deliver it.
And of those last 6 field goal attempts, 4 of them have been threes by Georgia Tech. There's their first miss of the quarter. But Termis rebounds. And the 5th made 3 in the quarter. Augustanita with a little celebration there. And all of a sudden it's a 2-point game. But then gets a little excited on defense and fouls.
There's no logo on the floor, but that was a logo 3. Deep, no hesitation, and I love the reaction after she made it. Oh, yeah.
And Rusna got called for a little foul there on defense. But 5 threes so far in the first 4 minutes of this quarter, and Georgia Tech's within 2.
They average 8 a game, so they're ahead of schedule.
And again, there's the cut. Bosgana's pass picked off.
Beautiful job on the backdoor cut defensively.
Heat check. Nope. And Ogden clears. Nice, there we go again. Give, go, cut, layup.
Exactly right. Put the defensive head on a swivel.
Morgan with the answer for Georgia Tech.
Boy, what a sensational game. 6 points, 3 assists.
After being hammered, I mean, this was a 13-point first quarter lead for Stanford. Here's Georgia Tech within 2 as we approach and just go past the midway mark of quarter 2.
Georgia Tech already has scored 21 points in the quarter.
Foul line shot, no. And here comes Georgia Tech with a chance to tie or lead.
Good rotation by Ogden.
Clardy with a nice spin away. Dunn was trying to slow her down, and Clardy finishes. What a nice move near midcourt by Clardy.
Yeah, it was one-on-one coverage and just a little hitch and go. Already 10 points. Bosgana 11 in double figures already.
Wow, there was Georgia Tech with its own little backdoor cut. And again, Morgan right at the rim, not able to put it home. Nope, offensive foul there. Well, that's going to set us to the, well, we'll call it the under 4 break of the second quarter. Georgia Tech's cut it to 4.
And Stanford continues to do a great job of distributing the basketball. Clardy there with the assist. Bosgana just drops it right into Stevenson inside. But a spectacular first 6 minutes of this second quarter for Georgia Tech. Absolutely on fire. 8 of 12 from 3, 5 of 7 from distance. You look at the reaction from the bench. You add 3 steals to that to just create some tempo as well. They have been just off the charts.
10 assists already for Stanford today. They've had 20 or more 3 of the last 4 games. And it's interesting matchup basketball-wise today, because Stanford is going against a Georgia Tech team that excels in defending the 3. Just 28% against them, second best in the ACC. So Stanford's not shooting many threes.
They sure aren't. They've been able to get into the paint and really take advantage there.
Just chat right with a miss. So now Stanford regrouping out at that timeout. They'd like to see if they can regain some of that lead. As Bosgana short, right back with it for Georgia Tech.
That 3 contested well by Morgan.
Wow, deep one.
You make one, you feel like you can make them all.
Yep, that's... And there again, running the floor, Ashley Stevenson got caught underneath, just a slight bit off balance. Good tempo here. And Morgan setting things up. And Morgan there, finished with the right hand this time, and draws the and one.
Just so crafty. Puts the ball on the floor, uses the screen extremely well. I love the dribble, just bring the defense out and then explode. And Morgan, at 5'9", we've seen her as a distributor, as a scorer, a punishing person, putting the ball on the floor, getting into the paint. She's knocked down the 3, and the net has been big. She has struggled from beyond the arc over the last 10 games.
Second team All-ACC last year. Tonie Morgan, and again, Georgia Tech. You're looking for her to be a big part of their team that they expect to be in the NCAA tournament. This outcome today will help decide 8 or 9 for Georgia Tech in the ACC tournament as Bosgana. Nice job using the screen.
Yeah, and just good patience with the shot. Didn't try to make too much out of it.
Morgan pulls up foul line jump. Nice offense going on here.
Morgan, really impressive. She has terrific vision, but knows when to take her own shot.
Georgia Tech made 2 baskets the entire first quarter, 10 in the second.
That's why sometimes you're happy when the quarter sounds and you can move on.
And Ogden finishes.
And Ted, that's where there's such a difference, just for patience. Take your time, you don't need to be in a hurry.
Whoa. Yeah, and there's the screen. They're going to call done for that. The call being done slid just a little bit into Shea Ichiwoye. And again, Del Fortner doesn't agree, but watch 25 up top.
And here's the screen.
What do you think, Mary?
Could go either way on that one. Ogden,
yeah.
Nice job taking her time. Well defended by Dunn. I did not see a lot of right to left movement on it. She certainly braced for contact.
Yeah.
But if you like to drive, this is the game for you, because
exactly.
If you get into initiating that and create some contact, you're going to get that whistle called.
And again, in today's world, it hasn't been as much drive and kick as we tend to see. That becomes the default play now in basketball. There's Ichiwoye. This is for Stanford. This first half has been drive and finish.
And they're doing a good job of it. Stanford just 1 of 5 from 3.
28 of their 41 in the paint. And now Stanford up 5 and a chance to add to it.
Dunn has been quiet so far, just 2 of 8.
Bosgana let it go. Bosgana! That's 13 in the first half.
Morgan gets tripped up and buys Bosgana, a second or 2, and that's all you need.
It's only the second 3 of the first half for Stanford, both by Elena Bosgana. All right, so now Georgia Tech wants to get something right here. Stanford's back up 8. Done. Oh, and now Stanford can't run it out. Almost a 6-second difference. We're going to the 1-4 set here.
I think Clardy likes this matchup.
So when she goes on the shot clock, she glances up at 8. Ogden's going to go, and the foul is called on Dunn. That is the second foul on Dunn. All right, stay tuned for our halftime show. It's presented by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is taxes.
And with that foul, you get to the free throw line.
Tiana Thompson in for the Yellow Jackets.
Virginia, first game we had today on the CW, Virginia winning North Carolina. That means Stanford, by the way, has and I trust John Cantaloupe because it makes my brain hurt to think about these things. Morgan makes the first. John tells Stanford is locked in now. They'll be the 11 seed in Greensboro.
Which means they'll be playing the 14 seed Syracuse.
On the first day.
On the first day.
Hoping to get out of 1 day of play. But if you're Stanford, you need some wins. And it gives them a chance to see if they can string some wins together. Morgan with a drive and 1. How about that? Tonie Morgan at just 2.4. Ooh, strong.
Puts it on the floor. That is a really tough shot. She handled the contact and finished strong with it. An impressive, very impressive first half from Tonie Morgan. 15 points and 3 assists.
There you go. That's a big 3-point play. And so instead of being down 10 at the half, it's 7. That's something that you may look back on in the second half as being big.
Yeah, there's no doubt, but Morgan, just 2 points in the first quarter, just came on with those 13 points and led the way for her team. What a great, great quarter for this Georgia Tech squad.
And it was 16 points for Morgan, leading the way for Georgia Tech, and Elena Bosgana matched it with 16 for Stanford. And so at halftime, Stanford 46-39. Stanford has been very strong this year. Of course, this has been a year of adjustment for everybody in the ACC, and Stanford has lived it. Their home record has been terrific. Road record has scuffled. Not sure you should be terribly surprised by that.
Yeah, no doubt, especially when you think about what Stanford lost in the offseason.
And here we go right away. Quick three, and Chit-Chat Wright knocks it down. Terrific start for Georgia Tech.
They are 6 of 13 from distance, plus 12 from beyond the arc over Stanford, where we thought that would be Stanford's strength. It has been Georgia Tech's strength.
Oh, a good, strong move inside, and Mary Ashley Stevenson finishes.
Mary Ashley has come on so much in the second half of this season, especially with Manu Aguirre out of the lineup with concussion protocol. She's just a much tighter player, better decision-making, not so much of a whirling dervish, just really drop-stepping, beautiful, and delivering to the backboard.
It was fascinating. It was the practice of the day watching. And everybody today, no matter what position you are, you want to prove you can shoot. Mary Ashley Stevenson draining three after three after three.
It's coming.
In practice.
It's coming.
Yeah. No, there. Boy, Kara Dunn went right around, but just missed it at the rim, and the ball comes back to Stanford.
Yeah, Dunn, it's got to be a frustrating game. 2 of 10 from the floor, 0 for 5 from distance.
Brooke Dimitri knocks down a three.
They left her hand and the bench knew it was going in.
Yep. That's the first three other than Bosgana for Stanford. And again for Dimitri, who is in her final game at Maples. Nice drive by Morgan. I tell you, watching Morgan at Cal the other night today, she gets the basket.
She really does.
And there's a nice finish by the freshman Shea Ichiwoye.
Boy, the quick start from 3 by Georgia Tech, and since that point, Stanford just put the pedal to the metal.
And now it's back out to 12.
The miss, and Stanford off to the races. The look ahead, nothing there. I'll just take it myself.
Now we're talking about Georgia Tech missing a couple of players and being a little short-handed today. And then you look up, Stanford's only played 7 so far.
But the impact of the players that Georgia Tech is missing, you're down about 20 points, a bunch of rebounds and assists. That's a lot of scoring to take out of your lineup.
Short on that shot for Georgia Tech. Back comes Clardy, finishing no. And the Termis with the long three.
Beautiful trail 3. The thing was timed beautifully, just couldn't get it to go down.
Thompson out there from Georgia Tech only played 3 minutes in the first half.
I expected to see her play a little bit more than that.
Nice shot by Clardy, and that gives Stanford their largest lead.
A 10-0 run by Stanford over the last 2 minutes.
After Wright hit the first 3 of the half.
4. Exactly right.
10 straight points.
That's a nice little catch and shoot.
Yep. Augusta Neitha.
Talk about being ready when the ball
Yes.
arrives to get your shot up in rhythm. Beautiful pass, great setup.
So I would guess Rusna looks to me like a player that has conquered the fear of shooting.
No doubt. Doesn't shoot it like a 30% three-point shooter.
Bosgana got in there. Scoop didn't go. Dunn on the run. Dunn wants to go in and travel. She tried to back her way into the smaller player, Ichiwoye.
It's one of those when somebody starts backing in, you just kind of pull the chair out. Dunn backs it in. And you can see, just gives him ground, and the travel ensued, and the frustrations for Dunn continue.
I can tell you were a coach. I could hear my CYO coach telling me that in 7th grade. Pull the chair out. I don't hear that too much anymore.
You don't. But we don't see a lot of post moves much anymore either.
Exactly. Tess Heel in the game for Stanford. Ogden as well. Oh, nice inside pass. Boy, that's a nice interior pass by Courtney Ogden.
It really was, because you could see she was focused on her move, and then just out of the corner of her eye, a nice shuffle.
And now 11 points for Stevenson. Hermes lets go. Now Stanford with a chance here to really separate.
Great defense by Morgan to get in front of that drive.
Oh, nice blow by Stevenson.
Nice setup, right? Like, get off me. I'm looking for someone to pass to.
13 for Mary Ashley Stevenson. Biggest lead. And that forces a Georgia Tech timeout. All Stanford to start the third.
Weeks ago.
And there's a powerhouse duo right there on the right. Of course, Condi Rice, who was the driver for Stanford and Cal, and they're joining the ACC. And of course, Tyra Vanderveer, the great Hall of Famer, who's now a professor. She's been teaching a course, a master class basketball course this winter. I've been taking it. It's really good.
And what are your grades?
No. Tyra's smarter than to grade me on that. But it's been excellent. She really, again, Mary, of course, was a longtime coach, and Tara is a big part of her course. Evening course here at Stanford has been the structure of practices, the fundamentals, how you go about literally coaching a program.
I understand it's well attended.
It's been overflow. There's a nice basket for Georgia Tech. They needed something to break the run here. Morgan gets them that 2.
18 points for Morgan.
Well, Georgia Tech got this game down to a point late in the second quarter. But this Stanford third quarter run, they have separated. Now it's going to be Georgia Tech's ability to respond that we will watch.
But the points in the paint right now, Georgia Tech just getting decimated in the paint by Stanford's cuts.
Ooh. Well, the offense, Hustanaita has given him a big lift off the bench.
She really has. She is one confident player. Mary Ashley Stevenson was open for about 20 seconds. No one saw her. She was waving, ran a flag up.
There they go, over the top. And she did a great job keeping Morgan on her front.
The life of a post player. Stay patient. Eventually someone will see you.
15 for Mary Ashley Stevenson now, as Morgan hits the foul line.
Stanford has not found a matchup to slow down Tonie Morgan.
Tonie Morgan with 20 points. What a day. We would not have expected this for Georgia Tech. Cara Dunn only 4 points, but Morgan with 20.
A beautiful pass from Ogden, just drops it in on Stevenson. Stanford with the 13-point lead. Now means getting back in it. Stanford, the lead gets cut to 4, and they just come roaring right back. Dimitri hits a 3. Exploding. Just great balance scoring up and down this lineup. Chloe Clardy.
Well,
Stanford shooting.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. I mean, that's, you're talking about a lot of pretty good basketball here over 4 decades, and you're saying that's the all-time school record right now.
But they've only taken 37 shots.
Yeah.
So high efficiency.
Yep, that's it. They haven't had more. Dimitri. And that's going to come back in. That air ball went out off of Georgia Tech. And again, the rebound that Mary was talking about. Georgia Tech got this game down to 1. Just over 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Then they made the first 3 coming out of half and cut it to 4. But Georgia Tech has spent so much time in this game digging themselves out of holes.
And remember, bigger picture as well, although the ACC tournament seedings appear set. Georgia Tech, pretty good shape for the NCAA tournament. Stanford needs wins. And Stanford has made the tournament 36 consecutive years. Let me repeat that. 36 consecutive years Stanford has been in the NCAA tournament.
And I think that's part of what happened to Stanford this year, is that the pressure of you are Stanford and what the expectation level is for this team, it burdened them. And once they kind of got past that and just focused on getting better and improving, this team started getting better and improving.
And we've talked about how hard it is to transfer in. There's a drive and one. Nice finish. Well, I want to tell you, Tonie Morgan has been the offensive player.
She has put on ground, as am I, an NBA from Notre Dame, which I don't really use a lot except perhaps when I'm paying my bills.
And since my much better half was an athlete, not basketball, but was an athlete back in the pre-Title IX era at Notre Dame, I'm thrilled that Notre Dame's women's sports have developed so well.
To say the least.
And this Nell Fortner, of course, the terrific start that Georgia Tech had, the 15-0 record start, and the significant wins are the ones that have them feeling pretty good about being in the NCAA tournament. In contrast, it was a rough start for Stanford this year, as there's a finish inside by Blackshear. Georgia Tech within 8, if they can finish the quarter strong, a chance.
And here they come again. Georgia Tech just doesn't give in. They just keep finding a way.
Janiyah Harriel's in the game. First time today for Stanford. And there's the finish inside for Ogden.
Look at the passing of Ashley Stevenson. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists.
And how about that shooting? Augusta Naida has been something. Now, she's had a 30-point game in her career, so scoring is not foreign to her. But she has 14 today. And Ogden with an excellent step-through finish.
Yeah, that's that slow-mo NBA move that everyone's starting to incorporate. Is you put the move, then you just slow it on down and then put it on up.
12 points now, Courtney Ogden today.
And it's how quickly she does it. She comes in the game and just gets points in a hurry.
Whoa!
Shot of the game.
Step left to finish that. Morgan, 25 points, closing in on a career best. And Tonie Morgan got flattened the other night in Cal by a blindside screen. The way she left the floor, I was coming in asking yesterday, today, is she going to play today?
Well, one word comes to mind, and that's tough.
Amen. Nice finish inside. Blackshear got the feed from Chit Chat right. Well, look at this.
That's
a minute and change. It's a 5-point game. So we're getting a timeout as Stanford wants to get Ijiwoye and Bosgana back into the game.
Tonie Morgan. Little step, side step.
Man, that's some move, wasn't it?
Sure was. No travel on that, that hard jumps. Wins in the win column. And that is going to be some game with Virginia Tech. That was a double overtime loss at home for Georgia Tech. 105-94, all the way back on January 9th.
Ogden on the baseline. Wow, it's Ogden. What a lift. She has made 6 of 7 shots. 14 points for Courtney Ogden.
Had 14 points in 18 minutes. The shootout has broken out at Maples.
Then Chit Chat right answers with 3, and it's again 5 points. So Stanford twice in this game now has separated, and Georgia Tech has come back.
Roaring back. They've made 6 of their last 6 shots.
Stevenson wanted it against Blackshear and gets fouled. And Blackshear says, no, I got the ball.
Courtney Ogden off the bench. Impactful, just like the last 3 games. drives the baseline, helps late rotating over the stopper.
As we see Ashley Stevenson at the line. Of course, she transferred in this year out after a very good freshman year at Purdue. A lot of people around the country were watching last night a big national television game between UCLA and USC. And two players, Lauren Betts and Kiki Erfin, on those two teams, for one on each team, both played here. Both transferred from here. That never used to happen. All right, shot clock off.
And USC swept UCLA this year.
All right, it's going to have to, Roosevelt going to hoist there a little more of a desperation shot to beat the buzzer. So the third quarter comes to an end, and again, Stanford pulled out. And at one point, a 15-point lead, but Georgia Tech narrows it to 7. Progressive Insurance. Say when you bundle home, auto, and motorcycle insurance, visit progressive.com.
How good a game has Tonie Morgan had. Her career high is 28. She's got 25 already. Look at the efficiency, her ability to get to the free throw line. She's been fouled. She just continues to get to work. But really, it's about her ability to use screens, her change of tempo, and her vision when she's doing all of that. Because if the shot's not there, she has done a spectacular job of kicking it out to three-point shooters.
Oh, what a junior from Tallahassee, again, all second team All-ACC last year, playing like she wants to be a first teamer this year. See Nell Fortner urging on her team as we go to the fourth at Maples. And by the way, I'm going to say it again, the women are smarter. Bosgana with a nice feed inside. I love the quarters.
I love the quarters too. Every time I do a men's game, I'm like, could we please do quarters? Just makes the game have more pop, quicker pace.
18 now for Elena Bosgana. Augusta just letting it fly. Bosgana letting it go. Nobody stopped her. And then eventually Blackshear, the last gasp there to stop a coast-to-coast run.
I loved how she kind of looked at her teammates like, where is everybody?
Yes, exactly.
Bosgana's like, is somebody going to pick me up? Great job, though, by Blackshear.
Nice baseline spin, but a little too nice. Stevenson stepped out. Well, it's been a fascinating developing game from the Georgia Tech viewpoint in that Tonie Morgan has been so good offensively. And Kyra Dunn has just 4 points as we start the fourth quarter.
And their second leading scorer, Danny Carnegie,
yes,
the 5'9" freshman, out for this ballgame, averages 13 points, almost 4.5 rebounds and 2 assists. They're playing without her as well.
I say that's a little juice you can see where Chit-Chat Wright has stepped right in as a freshman from Atlanta. He's got, you can see the spark in her game. Tomorrow on an all-new All-American on the field, both Crenshaw and Beverly teams are on a hot streak. Off the field, KJ and Khalil are pulled in different directions. Catch an all-new All-American tomorrow at 8/7 Central, right here on the CW.
This is one of the things that Nell Fortner and her staff did an outstanding job of. Chit-Chats from Atlanta, of course, is getting Georgia players to come to Georgia Tech. That hasn't always been the case, and she has done an outstanding job of, you know, Chit-Chat's from Atlanta to say, hey, stay home, play for us. It's a great school. It's a beautiful school, and it's exciting. It's a great location for international students as well, with Atlanta just so accessible with their great airport and their academics. Oh, all right.
That's going to be out of bounds back into Georgia Tech, and I think just quickly, that's a great point because it's really both these schools sell that. And when you read the Georgia Tech player bios, you read about how many of them are coming there for the, of course, the focus on engineering, but the terrific education, as well as the high-level athletic. And there's Morgan with another one to pull Georgia Tech within 5.
She is almost single-handedly putting her team on her back and saying, come with me, guys, let's go.
Good catch, foul line. Ogden's miss cleared by Georgia Tech, and then Georgia Tech runs the floor, and Zoe Smith right there. And Blackshear gives Dunn a chance, and Dunn hits a three, and Georgia Tech has come back to within 2.
I love it. Dunn has been quiet this whole game, but when she got the opportunity, took her time and buried her first 3 of the game.
And now look at this. Georgia Tech could take a lead here. Morgan using Blackshear. Put the ball down off the shoe, had to pick it up. Chit-chat right gets a Zoe Smith screen. And that was close.
It was close for the lead.
And all of a sudden, the crowd for Stanford here, Maples Pavilion, has awakened. And several times this has felt comfortable for Stanford. Hardly that now.
But it's the Georgia Tech fans behind their bench that make the cheer of defense, defense.
And it's Morgan to the basket. Morgan scores it to tie the game.
She is down. Morgan is down.
Yes. And play will get stopped. Morgan is down after a basket that gives her a career best 29 points. And unfortunately, you see that hobble. Tonie Morgan hobbled off the floor in Berkeley Thursday differently. 74 all.
Stanford on fire for the first 3 quarters of this ballgame. Shooting 70%. Just dominating. And then things got cold. And what heated up this whole game has been Tonie Morgan. 29 points, a career high. 6 assists. She was fouled 7 times, got to the free throw line, and on this play, went down and could not get up. Team called timeout, and she is on the sideline.
The athletic trainer next to Morgan, they've been working on the inside of her right calf. Not an ankle, which we, at first when she went down, you thought it might have been an ankle. At least that's what we can see. So right now, Morgan is not on the floor. And Stanford been jolted here. Georgia Tech has come back from deficits of 13 and 15 in this game. And now will have a chance to take its first lead. They have never led this game.
And who takes over the scoring with Morgan on the bench? And no Carnegie.
The Blackshear kick, and there it is. Zoe Smith gives Georgia Tech its first lead. Heel. And Heel with a very big shot for Stanford.
Yeah, that really says something. You lose the lead and you come back and you retake it on your first opportunity.
Chit-chat right using Blackshear screens. Dunn spins. And Dunn's ball drops.
It really is Kara Dunn time. 9 points.
And it's Ogden here. 16 now for Courtney Ogden from Atlanta.
Good point. Stanford answers again.
Bustanida lets it go. That came close.
Sure did.
And on the floor for the ball, it's Chit-chat right gets it out. Blackshear a little slow to run for Georgia Tech, but it's Stanford ball. And broke it up at the very last by Chit-chat.
Just spectacular transition, like desperation transition defense by Chit-chat right. You can see her trailing the play and the acceleration like, yeah, you need me right now.
Yep, good call, because that's a layup for Dimitri.
She was getting back, and then you could just see the acceleration at the last second.
Tiana Thompson now in the game. Kayla Blackshear was moving slowly herself. She's off the floor. And inside, the nice finish by Shea Ichiwoye.
What a beautiful job of moving without the basketball. And it's one of those, I need somebody to get open.
Now Stanford up 3. 50 paint points for Stanford. Dunn, 2 spins, no. Shot clock did not reset. Does Georgia Tech know it? Does Dunn know it? They don't. Shot clock did not reset. And it didn't look like the Yellow Jackets were aware.
Ogden, just tremendous one-on-one defense on Carrie Dunn. Now, you know they watched a ton of video on her to know what her moves were and how she wanted to get into her shot, but spectacular by Ogden, one-on-one defense.
So now under 4 minutes. Ogden to Clardy. Dimitri.
And Stanford responds again. And Clardy, all that work and the kick out. And the emotion here at Stanford on senior day.
So after Georgia Tech took the lead, 7 straight Stanford points.
Pass, Clardy, nothing there. Don't force a kick out to your shooter. The bench says, we see this every day. Stanford, Clardy gives it up. Ogden, you're open. Great help rotation. And that help left Brooke Dimitri, the sensational senior shooter for Stanford, wide open.
Yep. Well, it's funny you say that because the ACC, the last 6 years, they put the most schools in the NCAA tournament of any conference, 48. That's what Stanford is hoping, if they finish strong, will help their cause. Dunn. And Dunn has taken over with Morgan out. And by the way, Morgan is back on the floor now that we see coming out of the timeout.
Spectacular job by Dunn recognizing the mismatch and going to work on it.
Tonie Morgan, number 5 for Georgia Tech with a career best. 29 is on the floor.
Zone defense by Georgia Tech.
And Dunn clears it. And the other factor here in the final 3 minutes, there's only been 1 foul called so far in the quarter.
That was just so different than what we had in the first quarter. Mismatch inside.
So Smith over Tess Heel. And cleared. Ichiwoye.
Defend the best you can, but don't foul.
Now Stanford willing to run clock.
Zone D, there is lots of space in the middle of that zone.
And now late clock, Heel, baseline doesn't go. Takes it to the basket, does Tess Heel.
This is where she's gotten so much better. Everyone just commits to the 3. She puts it on the floor and attacks.
All right, 6 points, 2:15. Tonie Morgan. Out to Dunn, Ogden on her. And it's Morgan's step back on the baseline. Courtney Ogden clears.
We are under 2 minutes.
The game's going to go under 90 seconds on this Stanford possession. Ogden goes to the basket. Georgia Tech needs it, and Dunn runs down the loose ball. Morgan. You hit it, Mary. Courtney Ogden closing out, not giving Dunn a look.
Yep. Offensive foul. Georgia Tech really took that time with their possession, just trying to find the right shot. But again, defensively, Stanford, here comes the screen. And you don't get that foul called if you don't try to get over the top of it.
Exactly, and Zoe Smith on it. But you hit it earlier. They threw the pass across the floor to set up Dunn for three, but Ogden didn't give her a good look.
She sure didn't. She's done an outstanding job defensively in this game.
So now Stanford up 6 with a minute to go.
Ogden's like, please, someone get the ball out of my hands.
What a pick. How about that? Look at Morgan, her first 30-point game in college, 31, and it keeps Georgia Tech alive.
What hasn't she done in this ball game? Trap on the sideline. Good job by Hill to look up and see time and situation.
Let's see what. You have a foul, I believe.
Getting your pocket picked. Tonie Morgan set it up and put it away.
All right, Caleb Blackshear foul, but here's the situation that we mentioned a minute ago. There haven't been enough fouls. And so no foul shooting yet. There's only 2 fouls against Georgia Tech in the fourth quarter.
And every time Georgia Tech fouls, it's just going to chew up time, and time that they need.
That's where you get in, and you don't see very often in men's game, but we're certainly seeing it here. That tactic of, you know, do you start fouling a little earlier when you're the trail team? So at 25-2, Georgia Tech will have to foul one more time. Dimitri trying to get it into Bosgana, who gives it to Hill, who is fouled. That one going to the basket.
That's foul shooting.
Yes, it'll be a 2-shot foul. And Georgia Tech had to do that. They couldn't give up the layup.
Third personal on number 5, Tonie Morgan, 4th team foul.
Find the open player. Bosgana thinks about it. Hill decides, I'm going for it, and the foul, because you cannot allow Stanford to score.
Bosgana coming out here with 18. And that'll be Tess Heel. Added this year, like Stevenson, added as a transfer. Played 2 years at Santa Clara, which is not that far from this campus. Big scorer at Santa Clara.
A much different player at Santa Clara than she is this year for Stanford.
Ooh, missed both. How about that? And that even heightens Georgia Tech's hope here at 21-9 in a 4-point game.
Right, so you'll come down, you'll take
to the year, hoping to see if they can grab one here at the very end. They need this from Dunn. No. Blackshear underneath. Kick it out. Another Dunn. More to heave. No. Rebound Bosgana. And now Stanford fouled at 9-5. Would be in better shape.
So for Georgia Tech, you just wanted some good looks. They had 2 opportunities to cut the lead to 1. And Nell Fortner and her team, they never threw in the towel. This is a team that just continued to battle and come back. A 15-point lead for Stanford, and they come back and take the lead multiple times.
So Elena Bosgana will be one of 3 Stanford players, along with Brooke Dimitri and Janiyah Harriel, that will be honored here in just a few moments, playing their final game at Naples. And Morgan pressured a little too much in backcourt. Ujiwoye fouls, although that is only the 2nd team foul. There you go. So just the 2nd team foul, which means it'll be a backcourt inbounds. And Clardy fouls again, so Stanford smartly using fouls here that don't hurt them and just take a couple of ticks off the clock.
Stanford will leave tomorrow. They came into this day not knowing whether they would leave tomorrow or Tuesday. They are on the road tomorrow for Greensboro.
And Morgan with a miss after her best game in college, Tonie Morgan, but it is Stanford that closes out their home season with a win. 5 out of the last 6 now for Stanford.